Hi, everyone. When many people think about microorganisms, they usually imagine bacteria or maybe fungi, but protists may actually be some of the strangest and most diverse eukaryotic organisms on Earth. Some protists produce large amounts of Earth's oxygen through photosynthesis. Others hunt prey like microscopic predators. Some are giant multicellular seaweeds like kelp, while others are dangerous parasites that cause disease such as malaria. What makes protists especially interesting is that they do not fit neatly into a single lifestyle or body plan. Instead, protists represent an enormous amount of eukaryotic diversity and experimentation. Today, we'll explore what protists are, how they survive, and why they are so important biologically and medically. By the end of this lecture, you should be able to describe how protists use specialized structures for movement and feeding and relate protist diversity to ecological roles in human disease. Protists are a diverse group of eukaryotic organisms. Most are unicellular, although some are multicellular or form colonies. Unlike plants, animals, or fungi, protists do not belong to a single tightly related group. Instead, the term protist is often used as a broad category for eukaryotes that are not classified as plants, animals, or fungi. Protists display incredible diversity in how they obtain energy. Some are autotrophs that perform photosynthesis even. Others are heterotrophs that consume or absorb nutrients. Some can even switch between nutritional strategies depending on environmental conditions. This diversity is one reason protists are so ecologically important and biologically fascinating. Protists play major roles in ecosystems around the world. Photosynthetic protists, especially algae, form the base of many aquatic food webs and produce enormous amounts of oxygen through photosynthesis. Other protists help recycle nutrients by consuming bacteria and organic matter. Some protists are predators that help regulate microbial populations in aquatic systems. However, protists are not always beneficial. Several important human diseases are caused by protists, including malaria and giardia or giardiasis, if you want to say the actual disease term. Because protists are so diverse, scientists also study them to better understand the evolution of eukaryotic life itself. One of the most interesting things about protists is that different groups have evolved very different survival strategies. Some protists capture sunlight through photosynthesis similar to plants. Others actively hunt and consume prey organisms, so others survive as parasites living inside hosts. Some protists can even switch, as we had said before. And so we see that there's this massive amount of diversity, allowing protists to fit into multiple different ecological niches. For many protists, movement is essential for survival. Motility helps protists find food, escape predators, move towards light, or locate hosts for infection. Different protists use different structures for movement. Some use temporary extensions called pseudopods, others use long whip-like flagella or short hair-like cilia. Certain parasitic protists move using specialized gliding mechanisms. These movement strategies are often closely tied to how the organism survives in its own environment. Amoeboid protists move using structures called pseudopods, which means false feet. Pseudopods are temporary extensions of the cell membrane and cytoplasm. By extending and flowing into these projections, the amoeba can slowly crawl across surfaces. Amoebas also use pseudopods to capture food. They surround and engulf prey particles through a process called phagocytosis. Many amoebas are free living organisms found in aquatic environments or soil, although some species can cause disease in humans. As you look at the image, notice the constantly how you kind of have these different life stages. You have your cyst, your trophozoite, and flagellated stage. Unlike organisms with rigid cell structures, amoeba are highly flexible. Flagellated protists move using flagella, which are long whip-like appendages that propel the organism through liquid environments. Some flagellates are photosynthetic, while others are heterotrophic or parasitic. For example, euglena can photosynthesize in the presence of light, but may also absorb nutrients when light is unavailable. Other flagellates, such as Giardia, are important human parasites that infect the digestive tract. Flagella provide directional movement and allow these organisms to move efficiently through water or bodily fluids. Ciliates are covered with numerous short structures called cilia. Unlike flagella, which are usually few in number, cilia are present in large numbers and beat in coordinated patterns. This coordinated movement allows ciliates to swim efficiently and often helps direct food particles towards the cell. Many ciliates are active predators that feed on bacteria and smaller microorganisms. Ciliates are also known for having relatively complex internal organization compared to many other protists. As you examine the image, notice the dense covering of cilia surrounding the organism around the edge. They're kind of hard to see in this image, but it's kind of the lighter colored area right around the edge of the cell. Apicomplexans are a group of parasitic protists that live inside host organisms. Unlike many other protists, they generally do not move using cilia or flagella during most of their life cycle. Instead, many rely on gliding movement or no movement at all, and the ones that do move use specialized structures for invading hosts. Apicomplexans are obligate intracellular parasites, meaning they must live inside host cells to survive and reproduce. One of the most important apicomplexans is Plasmodium, the organism responsible for malaria. These parasites often have extremely complex life cycles involving multiple hosts and several developmental stages. The malaria parasite has one of the most complicated life cycles among microorganisms we study in Intro Micro. Plasmodium requires both humans and mosquitoes to complete its life cycle. Inside the human host, the parasite reproduces asexually and infects liver cells and red blood cells. Inside the mosquito, sexual reproduction occurs. The parasite also passes through several developmental stages, each specialized for survival, reproduction, or transmission. This complex life cycle helps malaria spread efficiently and make controlling the disease especially difficult. Today, we explored the remarkable diversity of protists. Protists are eukaryotic organisms with a wide variety of survival strategies, nutritional modes, and movement mechanisms. We examined how different protists move using pseudopods, flagella, cilia, or specialized gliding mechanisms, and we discussed how these structures support survival in different environments. Finally, we explored the ecological and medical importance of protists, including their role in food webs, oxygen production, and disease. In the next lecture, we'll continue exploring microbial diversity and strategies microorganisms use to survive and interact with the world around them when we talk about helminths, the parasitic worms. With that, thank you so much for attending this lecture. See you at the next one.